I love to keep it.
My God can heal any sickness. My God can heal anybody. My God can do any miracle. My God can do what no man can do. Ooh, I will lift him higher, higher, higher. I will lift him up.
My God can do what no man can do.
I will lift him up.
Higher, higher, higher.
I will lift him up.
My God can do what no man can do.
Ooh, I will lift him up.
Higher, higher, higher.
I will lift him up.
My God can do what no man can do.
I will lift him up.
Higher, higher, higher.
I will lift him up.
My God can do what no man can do.
You can do what no man can do. What to say? It is just a fact. No other God, no other God besides Jesus. Your word is so strong that it moves the mountain. Faithful God, you are faithful God. You are worthy of my praise. You were true, you were true, you were true, you were true, you were true. You were true. What am I can do? I will lift him up.
Higher, higher, higher.
I will lift him up.
My God can do what no man can do.
Oh, I will lift him up.
Higher, higher, higher.
I will lift him up.
My God can do what no man can do.
All right, good evening and welcome. Today is Friday, TGIF, and we are here as usual to take on community issues. Thank God. It's Friday. Our Lord can do everything. Lot is unfolding in our country, in our community, and across the globe. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here this evening. And as usual, we all want to have a conversation about our country and its people and all that is going on, your own political take as well. We want to welcome all of you right here this evening. Time Alfonso Zienso right here. It's 7:21 Eastern Standard Time right here in the East Coast. It's time to get the program rolling here. Welcome to the show.
My God can do what no man can do. Ooh, I will lift him up.
Let's give recognition to our primetime followers. Always here with us, rain, shine, whatever weather it is. We say thank you so much. Quit and Mr. Hinens, Willa Hinens is one of our prime time. What am I jumping over to Madam Alice Yard? Of course, Elizabeth. Good evening and welcome. You are our primetime followers. Where you been for the past time? I hope everything is okay. And of course, our own mentor, Amos George, we wish you speedy to recovery. And hopefully you will get better and be here with us very soon. Mr. Hennon, thank you so much for your commitment. And look, you don't hesitate to send in your suggestion and whatever you can do that we can enhance. We are in a confused and volatile world where information now is being interpreted, self-interpreted, any kind of way, just to get the part. And of course, our own sister here from around the capital, Yvonne, is marching in. Good evening. Welcome. Orita, we want to thank all of you for being here this evening. Let's get the ball rolling. I'm going to have another hectic day. My colleagues, some of my guys, they are not here. I'm left in the hands of the most liberal on this network, the most liberal progressive on this network. He has changed positions so many times. I'm sick and tired. Well, let's see what we're going to do here. If it calls me to send Dr. to Amos George to come on, we will do that. Let's get the ball rolling. It's conversation with Samson too. Unfortunately, he's unable to conduct his own program. I am Alfonso Zienso. I am in charge. Okay, good evening to welcome. I'm Afonso Z and so of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank God, TGIF, right? Thank God it's Friday. I am here. I have no idea what I'm going to encounter from this guy, this man, this evening. Two of my good guys. Did I say good guys? Two of my analysts, they are not here. And so he would try to make himself like a wild geese as if he's in charge of the program. I'm doing the production. So another song, when the going gets tough and the tough gets going, I can kick him out and tell him, say, it's a technical fault. Then I'm at fault. He ain't one that's it. But we want to welcome all of you here this evening. Thank you so much for all of your commitment. It's about Liberia. This is why we really find time, devotion in talking, because too much is ongoing. The news are so many, interpreted, self-interpreted, interpreted to suit their political taste, and so on and so forth. You know that laundry list is huge. But let me go to Saxtown, Sacramento. The most liberal on this network. He's the only liberal that we have on this network. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer said the teller. He's from Grand Gita. I don't know how he jumped into this whole thing and he's drawing himself into it. I see why he moved to California. Let me welcome the liberal progressive Samson Brown Tour of the Liberia Public Radio, host a conversation with Samson Tour. But guess what? He's not able. I am doing it. So there will be a limitation to his status here this evening. If he try to go above his speed limit and run ahead of his shadow, so help me God. Let me bring in the liberal here this evening. Let's see what we're going to have. The most liberal, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Saul. Thank you very much for the warm welcome and the beautiful introduction and conversation with Samson too, of course. But that's okay. You're in charge. You're always in charge. That's okay. The audience are now quite familiar with you and your tactics, how you want to sideline me, and with the help of the central right, who is not with us here tonight, but we're praying that he will be here very shortly. And the new guy, the Minnesota politician, who I'm not too sure yet what position he's on, but we'll find that out. But I'm glad to be here tonight, and it's all about Liberia, Mr. So what is happening right now, honestly, is very, very scary for those of us that perhaps are not in this for the hate, except that we do not agree with people based on policy issues. But what is happening right now, and we'll discuss that here tonight. This, for me, is very scary.
Very scary. You can get scared. I said nothing can move you. You block who you're here, nothing, and your hair face.
In America. Don't you in Liberia? They don't care what I put that. They don't care what I elephant skin on that. They will quote me. I look what they will quote me. So they scare me. They scare me. Don't you know what that? I can only do my block thing. Yeah, I'm liberal. You hate my mom. I can only do it here in America. In Liberia, I go there. They won't even see me say.
Oh, man, Babu know what to do. Watch him call private key here on word. Okay, liberal, good evening and welcome. As usual, we're always here to take a national issue. We don't take side. We're not a hit to the government. We are not divisive, but people have the right to their opinions, their view in terms of our talking point, and sometimes how we express it. We intend not to pivot in the directions of the people in terms of what they want to hear. And this is something I'm going to be repeating over and over. But there are things they need to know. And we telling them not necessarily mean it's 100% on top of the skill. They can challenge our talking point. They can challenge, and we'll also welcome them. Our man Tarabazawo, to good evening and welcome. All of our guys, so my people in the house here this evening. So I know how you're going to manage. You try to talk baby talk so that they will come in your direction. It will not work. It has never worked, and there's no indication that it will work. You want to speak crown? I can give you 1 minute. You speak crown to appeal to them. So there are a diverse group of people here. Unfortunately, it's just not a good night for you already. I see what is happening right now because these people, they are here. However, there are some other liberal fans always here too. In fact, in your absence, they accuse me that I kick you out. I do not want you to be on this network, and I've thrown you out. I'm not sure you the one adopted that Trump conspiracy and throw it to them for them to be for them to be your talking point, to be your mouthpiece. That was not the case. You came here yesterday to you lay out the file, which of course I know your uncle passed. The system were having issue. We have to go here and there. We empower you now. Your voice ready to go over Gideon Mountain. So let's see what happened here this evening. But okay, and I think I want to be a little bit ridiculous here to take your point here. There are some of your stuff here, and I know people are going to get pissed. But it's Friday. You get something, just take a nice cold glass of wine, and you will be fine. You know, like Brent, when it happens today, we remember, we recall every incident. By the time 12 hours pass, it become a dead case, or jawbone exercise. There's a change within the Unity Party. It's interesting to see what is unfolding. And there are a lot of talking points. I've not talking to people, but I've not been able to speak to someone inside, an insider or a decision making. But we can pull around this whole stuff here with Chairman Madar, who is out. And do not put me into embarrassing situations. Mo Ali. Is that the same Ali that used to be a boxer or what? Is that LeBron or Casio clear? Why he didn't box your people then in Banga?
Mr. So, before you start bouncing all over this place, let me bring you back to reality, because I think the position you're on right now, it is not the position that I'm willing and ready.
Welcome, Mr. Wilson Boyo is one of our prominent listeners here. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Thank you. So the point here, Mr. So, is this: Unity Party that will be discussed later. But I want to pivot back to what transpired back in July 26th.
Oh yeah, it's a big talking point. Mm-hmm.
I think, and it's very difficult for me. You know me, I said that I was saying it here, but I'm very serious. If I go to Libra, they kill me in Libra, I'll be happy. All I'm asking you guys.
Let me just something. I want to get up my glass down here with me because every little thing you
I
want.
will
I'm not going to take a bottle in the presence of my audience.
What are you yell? You yell. I will carry on. Go ahead, go get your glass of water because I'm going to deal with you.
I got a way to do it. Go ahead.
Yes, here we go. I'm going to deal with you tonight, so I'm not that concerned anyway. But here is what I'm saying here, on a very serious note. No one is more Liberian than any other person. And furthermore, those of us that are a little bit older, if you were lucky and be blessed to die in Liberia, having traveled all over the world, and if you were to be blessed and die in Liberia, it's a good death, as far as I'm concerned. Because all they have to do is take you to Toll Town, bury you, and that's where you're from anyway. So I'm not afraid. However, many of us come on this platform to discuss national issue. And in the process, we will continue to hold those who are in responsible charge, president, vice president, whoever, those that are in the method of leading the country. We will hold their feet to the fire and we'll hold them responsible. But we must do so with respect, and we must do so with responsibility. What do I mean by that? I can't come out here and try to insult the president because I don't agree with him on policy, and even the ridiculous thing that happened with this student union. That doesn't give me cause to insult anybody, and I'm not going to do that. Furthermore, if I come out here to open my mouth, I must be responsible of what comes out of my mouth when I'm discussing Liberian issue. I cannot come here and say I'm going to advocate or even speak to things that is happening in Liberia that I don't agree with, which means I'm supporting the Liberian people, whatever that I'm saying, hopefully. But on the other hand, if I'm doing that, then on the other hand, I say, I don't respect the president. This is the man the Liberian people gave me. So if I don't respect him, I'm not respecting the brothers and sisters that voted for Dr. Weah. So I'm not going to go that route. I would disagree with them, vehemently disagree with them, but I must do so with respect. Because I can't say Dr. Weah is not president today, so I'm going to be disrespectful. And then when somebody that I like, Dr. Bakai, by the way, and he becomes the president tomorrow, now I want to say I'm going to respect the presidency. Then I'm not truthful. Having said all of that, I just lay out the work. I'm cool, the progressive, liberal progressive, to be honest with you. My hate saying you more. You ain't saying my more. For this reason, I will give it to you as I see it. Mr. So, up to this point, and the president is not dummy. The president is not bobo. He speaks well, and he knows exactly what to say. Up to this point, on social media, whatever form, they have executive mansion has a website on social media. We have not heard anything from this father of the nation. I don't care how small he is. I don't care how old he is. He is the father of the nation. He's the father of the nation. And a young man was brutalized on July 26th. I don't care if he was cussing my mom. That does not give anybody right to go and try to hurt him. All because people who I consider to be responsible, their justification was, this president gave us free tuition. This president paid our wire fee. And therefore, if you're trying to say that he's not doing a good job, then you have no place in Liberia? Ridiculous. And I've not heard this president to come out and make any statement. Maybe he has, but I've never seen it. I've never heard it. Let me go on. Mayor Kochi, who I also admire and like a lot, because from time to time, I've been giving him public free advice. If I didn't like it, I won't do so. Because my thought at the time was I want him to be in position, because most likely he will face people like Aaron Costa. There's no question asked. So I wanted him to be prepared. But for him to be connected to series of violence since the inception of CDC coming to power, series of election violence, other violence, we have issue where look what happened to Madam Ure. Jefferson Kochi's name was connected. There's no evidence. Nobody has proven it. But his name, I'm just saying his name has been connected. Look what happened to Nyomli. His name was also connected, where he himself admitted that he has some comrade behind enemy line he's going to go get in Liberia. Now again, we have this thing. Honorable Kochi should come out and distance himself from this kinds of stuff, because Honorable Kochi himself used to be student leader at LU, and he himself has faced jail term. He knows what it is. So for him to come out day before yesterday dancing, having seen the video, hopefully, of this young man being brutalized, and the people were speaking, wearing the jersey, wearing the t-shirt of the president of the Republic of Liberia, the father of the nation, and you wear his t-shirt to say he must be re-elected 2023. But yet still, you go down the hall, the little young man ran from you guys, and you're chasing with Dr. Weah t-shirts on. Up to this point, the government of the Republic of Liberia have not come out to tell us anything. I'm not even talking about Moses Carter's statement or what have you. I'm not even going to address that. Because those kinds of statements allow the naysayer, allow people to improvise, allow people to say This national police, Liberian National Police, is a police for CDC. And you can have people to look at that video and see a young policeman standing by laughing while this young man was being brutalized. He had walkie-talkie. He was not calling for backup. When did the backup show up? When that young man was put on a motorbike, taken away. About 3, 4 minutes later. Because I watched the entire video and I was counting. That's when they show up. Mr. So, to be honest with you, as a Liberian, we can disagree on many things. But to have that young man, the way he was treated, as though Samuel Doe is being captured all over, as though Prince Johnson sitting over there with Budweiser in his hand, sitting behind the chair when Dr. Doe was being tortured. That's exactly what it looked like. Look how they treated this young man, taking all his pains to be naked in public. And these are people you want to call yourself, you want to connect yourself to CDC? CDC should come out and say, we don't want these people around us. Election or no election. Some of us has been out here, and I've been saying this here over and over, that Dr. Weah is not a violent person. But with
Hold
this
on right there.
stuff, the question now remains, when will we hear from the father of the nation on this issue?
And this is where disagreement going to come in here with me. And I don't sugarcoat. That's the thing about it. You will do everything. The end, you always derail your own train. You always crash your own train. And now you now put your own foot, like you said, CDC can put their foot in the mouth. You now put your foot in your throat. I find it difficult to get the concept and to agree with the analogy that it's not violent. You're not violent, but you endorse violent behavior. How can you reconcile that? Look, we have to call it as it is. And I'll talk to a lot of seditionists as well. I'm not talking about
Mr. So, as you always say, I'm sorry to interrupt, but when it comes time like this, we have to say, as you always say here, we shouldn't pay attention to some of the writings and things there. Prince Peter, you need to come to my show. Come next week. I have all of the video to show you the policeman laughing. I can show you that if you don't believe it. So I just want to point that out. Go ahead, Mr. So, please.
He is saying it. It's visible. We don't have to rehash that because it's almost like waking up the own one. It's all right, I'm going to. And our man says it is somewhere here. Thank God. Good evening. You are doing. You now hear Samson Toe is already on you, calling you. He has labeled you as Minnesota politician. That I told you behind the space. But anyway, you're going to be back here. Whatever you're at, once you settle down, we're going to do that. But here it is. You said the president is not violent. I differ with that. A violent person, a person who is not violent, you cannot condone any violent behavior. That's another way of being a silent, violent type of person. That's not the first time. That's not the second time. And
Mr. So, I'm going to interrupt. No. Yeah. I'm going to interrupt. Because this
okay, let me tell you right now. Let me tell you right now. This is your show. You are not in charge. I want you to also bear that in mind. You were talking here, and all of your fans here, I was quiet, I was gentle, I was polite, and you want to act like you are in charge. You are not in charge. Let me just tell you it right now. Okay.
Yeah, but when you're making these pronouns, okay, go ahead, make your point. Because no, I will not allow you to continue on your point. And you want to shut me up like you always do, that's fine with me. You can go ahead and silence me tonight. It's that's your behavior. The only reason you most likely will not silence me because your central right, your body is not here tonight. So if you silence me, that means you're gonna be just able to do the talking by yourself. And I don't believe you want to do that. Let me get the reason why I'm interrupting you is this. Mr. So, I admire. Admiring person is not the same as hating or loving or whatever. But I admire this president based strictly on his character. People say this and that. But I Samson Toe, He doesn't know me.
And I'm going to stop you now. You are getting under my sleeves so badly here.
So I think this Friday is not going to go well for you tonight. Go ahead, because you're getting under my skin as well. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You want to be in two places at the same time. It doesn't work that way.
Mr. So, I have to speak the truth. Yeah, and if the truth is leading me, if the truth is leading me from what position I was on before, so be it.
I also have the right to question what your truth, what appears to be. It's not a fight. It's not. It's in contradiction to what you are saying. I must also call you to that.
So you have to understand, as a liberal, I evolve. I'm not stable. I'm not stagnant. I'm not. Victor Smith will speak to that. I'm not structurally, stay. I am on. I'm all over. That I gave you that. But here's the thing. Here. Here's the thing I want you to take from me. If the fight says something else, and I have seen the fight, I will speak to the fight. There's no way, because I want to say I am who I am. I can't change. No. You see the affair? You see anything in the affair? No. If it means for me to eat crow, I will eat crow. But I must follow the truth. That's what we all ask. Follow the truth. So if you come here, and for example, the statement you were making when I interrupted, you come in here and say, the idea of you can't say he's not violent because he's being quiet, silent. Yes, I agree with you. Fine.
So that's your argument.
But yes, this is what I'm saying. What I know of Dr. Weir, he doesn't know me. I've never talked to him before. Okay? I've been on here. You know my position with him. As what I know of Dr. Weir when he was playing football, if this young man were violent, he won't stay up there. Remember now,
that's not
he was one of the few black people that were playing football in Europe. So if he were violent, they were not going to keep it, number one. Second, if he didn't have the temperament, because I play football, and when I'm on the field, I fight all the time, because you're not going to kick me and walk away. I call it this place here, Coconut Plantation. When you play over there, that eat boom, we eat boom all day.
So let me ask you.
If you play football and somebody eat your boom and you quiet, that's temperament at the highest. What I don't agree with at this point, he's not a soccer player anymore.
So he's the why is the coordination here? Why are you bringing in soccer into this whole thing here?
Because I'm
you guys, when they make your advisor,
this is what you do to them. Go ahead, finish your point.
Yes, I have to finish because you already told your audience, I didn't put finger in your throat. I don't know whether you swallowed GB or you swallowed Domo from Grand Gita before coming here. You told your audience, you told your fans tonight, and I can tell you now because it probably didn't get it, and I'm going to throw it to them now so that they will kind of distance themselves from you, denounce you, avoid you. You are not stable. Who wants to deal with people who are unbalanced? Like the scale. The weighing in here and there, pressure go up, pressure come down, heart go up, heart come down, cholesterol come down. Who wants to deal with people like that? That's exactly what you are doing. You are speaking in the tone of political correctness, and you know me for that. I'm going to disrepute you, I'm going to denounce you, and I'm going to expose you. Look, President George Weir, and that's why maybe some of us, they will never call all around to work or to be closer, because we will tell you exactly, and you know me for that. This one here, this is not the first instant. And you alluded to A. Okay, let's take on the face value. He's not violent. But he has his folks, a close confidant. They are always, let's forget about Jefferson Koji, this and that being accused. And you put it into context. He's the president of the nation. Saw what happened. And what the government even failed to realize, oh my God, if they could just give people a chance to talk to them, because I want my country to succeed, I want my country to excel, not this one then who just after a little or nothing because they want to be beating Sangba. What they failed to realize, Liberia as a nation who have got into big time trouble, if those guys who has gone there to protest, if they are gone offhand, it enters the embassy compounds of the Uncle Sam embassy. Do you know, are you aware, folks, seditions, Liberians, opposition, are you aware the protest of that, it is under the jurisdictions of the government of Liberia to protect that embassy? Do you agree with me? Did it?
Mr. So.
I'm saying it as I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're trying to after you finish educating me according to you, and after you finish now telling my fan not to believe me because I'm unstable. Mr. So, the liberal is on the floor, please. This is what you do, and that's what you do the best. But you're not going to frighten me. You're not going to scare me to say what I don't want to say. Mr. So, let me repeat myself again. As a liberal, my position is not a flagpole. I'd evolve. But my being someone who evolved from stage to stage, follow the truth. I don't try to stay on one position because I want to say Samson to, I got a principle. Yeah, we all have principle. But if the principle is being faulty, you have to correct yourself. That's what we are. Now, Mr. So, let me just tell you that we're talking about violence here. When some of us were destroying Liberia, those of us that I wasn't involved in the war, but I was here in the United States collecting money to support people back home to fight. I'm not going to deny that because we were trying to defend ourselves as far as I was concerned. But in the process, we were destroying Liberia. So I'm not going to remove myself from that. If I need to be called to answer, I will.
You know what is happening? You know what is happening tonight?
The point here, Mr. So, the liberal is speaking, please. Yes. The point here, Mr. So, is this. When we were damaging Liberia, when we were spoiling Liberia, we were shooting, breaking bridges, spoiling roads. Dr. Weah used to travel from Europe. True story. He would come to Monrovia, and when he get to Monrovia, when he get to Liberia, that time that he would be in Liberia, children would survive. They will not die that night. When he leaves, he goes to other refugee camps to make sure that the people's spirit are lifted.
Which refugee camp?
He went to Ghana.
Which year?
Mr. So, I'm not here to educate you on that. Follow the history. If I'm lying, so be it. What you do to me? Nothing. But anyhow, the point that I'm making here is this. Mr. Dr. Weah is not known to be a violent person. And so if you come here now, let's get back to the present situation. And that's why it's paying most of us.
I love this comment.
Yeah, well, I don't care. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I don't care.
ZD, I love this comment.
Yeah.
God can beat people. When God ready to beat you, you can't even know until when you finish flocking you, then you can go ahead.
That's fine. The point here, Mr. So, is this, on a very serious note. What is happening in Liberia? What has happened in Liberia July 26th? having had the government, the people already announced that the president has been invited, and for CDC group to go and do those kinds of stuff. My point is, if Dr. Weah want to prove me, Samson told, if it doesn't mean he got nothing on me. If it doesn't mean he got anything on me, Mr. So, you can play all his stuff.
People are bothering you tonight.
Goodbye to them. I will be truthful. I will be truthful. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to be truthful, according to me.
Wow.
So my point is, if people are going to attack me for me to say that Dr. Weah, that I know, is peaceful, and the people are going to attack me on that, I don't want anything from them. They got money to pay me. They say can't work as an engineer in Liberia. They got money to pay me. So I don't want job from them.
Why are you diluting this conversation here?
No, I'm telling you right now. I'm just telling you. I'm not saying these things because I want something from them, but I'm being truthful. Now, the point now is this. Why am I saying all of this? Because they pay me now to see the person that I consider to be peaceful and non-violent person.
To be
now
peaceful.
For people to
hold on. Okay, hold on.
Kill somebody in his name,
okay, hold on.
His honor. That is unacceptable. And my point is, it's taking too long for Dr. Weah to even come out and distance himself from the hoodlums.
So to be peaceful, it's taking too long. You are speaking in a core here. So what is the bottom line now?
The bottom line The bottom line, I want the father of the nation. People elected him.
So are you saying is he or is he becoming violent?
Far from it. Far from it. Far from being violent.
So then what is taking too long?
My point is taking too long for him to come out and distance himself and even come out to because there are many Liberians that are angry over this young man being brutalized.
Are you angry?
Yes, I am. Of course I am.
Why are you angry?
Because this is not how a Liberian should be treated. Especially, these people, they're really doing themselves a disservice. Especially when Dr. Weah is responsible for free education according to these young people.
Not now, in the next 30 minutes, please.
If Dr. Weah is supposed to be responsible for YFE, and these young people are going out to demonstrate in front of the U.S. embassy, why do you think they picked that position?
Okay, let me tell you right now.
For the specific reason. They knew very well. They didn't know that they were going to be this much attacked, but they knew very well they were going to have some issue.
Hello?
So you would think that these people that put Dr. Weah in a bubble, they will be smart enough to say, let them play that game. We're not going to follow it. What was the explanation the COP youth, the CDC youth wing was giving? He was blaming Dr. Bakai for that mess. And you think we're stupid? We're not stupid around here.
You are confusing also.
Excuse me?
Should I speak wrong?
I want you to speak anything. You want to speak Baza? I can hear Baza.
No, I'm a little bit skeptical because you are unstable. So to deal
Mr. So don't try to muddy this water because I used the word unstable. Now you're going to use it, and I bet you when the center right, and there's like a politician from Minnesota, when they all come in, you will use that word, and then they're all going to gravitate to, oh, Mr. To, you say you're unstable.
So let me tell you, I've given you enough of time. And the people, your fans, some of them here now, they are so embarrassed. Get a Donald Trump supporters now. They are so embarrassed. So it's not a fairy tale stuff we're on here. And why it's happening tonight is so interesting. Back here, they get a saying that say when Sasewu, when somebody drinks Sasewu, the kind of confection that will be coming on, you're talking plenty of things here tonight.
Mr. So, Mr. So.
What kind of soup you ate?
Mr. So, that goat soup. Mr. So.
You say getting gold? They left.
Yeah.
In fact, then are you even feeling with a marine something? And so they late child marine graduation, and every day you will be slaughtering goat. On a serious note, I was talking something and you brought me to attention. But I think I look far beyond of what is happening on the surface. And that's what the very sedition and the government is not keeping track or keeping mind of. They can tell us that they were now, state security are now aware that the protests were taking place in such an important diplomatic enclave, such as the embassy of the United States of America near the Capitol. Why you think when people are protesting, even White House, Capitol, or whatever it is, why you think the police, the same very government, even though it might be against or for whatever the situation, why you think they provide security? When they got to know that these people were there, the very first thing to have done was there was a probability, knowing the history of our people when they're protesting. You don't see them protesting to carry a sound, seasoned statement to say, okay, these are the reasons, blah, blah, blah. Politician does that. We saw that with the Joneses, and that's what I told them. In fact, I will be coming to that. As far as I'm concerned, we do not even have opposition. And I want to be making our case as well because they are another disgrace to our country as well. They're no different from the CDC if they were to give them state power today. The government should have interceded immediately as long as found out that people has converged and they knew very well another force claimed to be a counter force, that when the security could have come in to provide some sort of security to avoid any frictions among those two forces, what I protested this and that, because that it could have dragged into the embassy. And they need to understand these guys, there are a lot of things factoring in. Those boys, you see them chanting, shouting. I told you, we were all in Liberia the other day. I talked to them and we try to do most of them, not all, other places, both in Morovia, Ganta, Grand Jide, brief stop in Banga and all of that. If you sit with those people, those guys, those young people, and some of the things that they talk, if you open up to them and become like, make them to be one of yourself, you get the inner part of them. Some of the lose money those guys play away, and when they see how life is going today, they feel rejected, they feel denounced, they feel embarrassed, they feel that they are not even part of the system, no one cares and do it. So their ears and minds just up there to do anything that trickle to do what it's supposed to do. The government could have gotten herself into a big time trouble. That could have been sanctioned. That could have been a problem, because if that embassy was to ever be invaded by those people, because GOL refused to provide security and draw that line of demarcations among the two groups that were protesting, it resulted into violence. That was the first can they kicked down the road. They didn't see that happen. And why are these government officials, why are they not thinking? Those people in the street there, Jefferson Koji and the men that are doing their hand at this Samuel Tuwe, Nathaniel Magee, and even the president himself, who has much greater portion, greater thing to lose if there was anything goes out of hand. They are the one. Yes, you say the president is not anti-violence. I find it very difficult, because he is not conducting himself, or the folks that around him, they are unable to tell him the truth if he's not saying it in real time or in real world, to say that he can speak out. What is he waiting for God's sake, to even, let's assume, and kind of put blanket over this thing here? How long, how much you're going to cost him, even if he had made a mistake, to pay a visit? Don't you think people are going to see the human side of him to have gone to that, what they call hospital? We can talk to people, some people say in coma. I don't know the truth. I have not spoken to any family member, so I cannot for sure say this is the condition of the press of this guy. What would have happened if you had even gone there and said, hey, you know what, because of the intensity of this thing here, the government going to take him out of their place here and provide medical treatment? The crazy guy who tied their hairs were acting like people from Iran or Arab or some kind of mujahideen fighters. You saw the other guy. I don't like to play that, because that plays on the minds of our people. Some of us went through that. You know that. I was among the folks Spring Johnson took to the base there after Samuel Doe was captured. So sometimes when we see some of those things there, it brings up bad memory, but we'll try to continue, I would say. And it is on the basis of we try to provide some sort of explicit educations and conversations to our people. And where his name, or police director, police spokesperson, police director coming out for them to, for the people, for people to come out. Give me a break. Who should come out? Why are you police officer? Why are you police commissioner? Somebody needs to be fired. Musa Dean, he as a professional person, I think it is time for he to sacrifice. You remember Bill Barr, what you said, and even though he was acting crazy, but at the end of the day, you told the president that you said the election is not true, this and that. That was a bullshit. So that's a bullshit they are doing there. And Mr. the president is to be held responsible.
Mr. So,
we are the same age group. I love his success, but it is unfortunate that the people and the very seditious who even want to stay in power for 12 years, which is okay, but they are not doing enough to include them into that process. So,
Mr. So let me just say this to you here. I agree with many of the things that you stated here. It's disappointing. No, forget disappointment. It's hurtful. Let me put it this way, emotional too. It's hurtful to see someone that I consider to be peaceful up to this point.
Do you still consider him peaceful?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do. And this is what makes me a good liberal, because I let people to hang themselves.
Let me tell you, you are the baddest liberal.
Whatever. That's your
Nancy Pelosi's second reason.
You're entitled to it, but what you're not entitled to is alternative facts. And I'm here to tell you the facts. Mr. So, when you were talking, I didn't say nothing.
You just talking.
Here we go again. You
want to call in. People want to call in. Liberian people want to call in.
They'll call in, but we have a show and we have a schedule. We don't just go in because things are going your way or whatever it is. Then you don't want people to come in to try to jackal me all over, which I'm prepared for. So don't rush it. They'll have time. We are scheduled. Mr. So, here's what I'm going to tell you tonight. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Why I do agree with you that up to this point, the president or his spokesperson, somebody need to come out. Musa Dean, I pray that Musa Dean don't come out to resign. But Musa Dean, it seemed to me, and I could be wrong, but it seemed to me that Musa Dean now is becoming like a stabilizer within the CDC hierarchy, to be honest with you, in terms of security.
You not hear from Joseph Boyka?
Excuse me?
You not take the stabilizer?
Mr. So, why are you trying to do this to the liberal? No, I'm saying within CDC. I'm still talking in terms of security. Musa Dean is the one that the international community, when it comes to shaking up like this here, things happening here. Most likely he got more call than even the president to say what's happening over there. What's going on? Because people all over the partners, Liberian people from all over the world that support Liberia to the democracy, they are worried when they see these kinds of stuff. They're not going to call Samuel to an ice-cream question, what happening, benevolent dictator. They're not going to call him on that. They will call people like Musa Dean. So I hope Musa Dean do not come out and say he's going to resign. Mr. So, let me tell you this. Another issue that I have. See these, the national police, from time to time, people I don't agree with, they will come out and say the national police is CDC police.
No, that's
and
fine.
You have things like this. Patrick Suru. And yes, another thing people are gonna be chuckling me all over here. Patrick Suru, as far as I'm concerned, I saw Patrick Suru on 2 occasions on the social media where he demonstrated to me that he has Liberians at heart and he had that country about himself. 1 occasion, the first demonstration before the June 7th demonstration, Patrick Suru went to where the police were preparing themselves to go and be out there with the demonstrator to make sure nothing gets out of hand. One young man, one of the police officers, decided he was wearing his gun. So Patrick Suru asked him, "Where are you going?" He said, "Well, I'm going to the demonstration." He said, "No, you're going to go to the demonstration with gun? Take it off. Nobody going to that place with gun." That's Patrick Suru. Another time that I saw Patrick Suru, it was raining in Liberia. And he came on the street of Monrovia to guide traffic. And there's everything that I'm saying here, they're evident. So I believe Patrick Suru to be someone that perhaps will be able to guide this country in terms of a security apparatus. Up to this point, anybody that watched that video, whether you're sedition or not, you will feel that this is not right. One last thing I'm going to say on this here before perhaps we can move on. I want these people that are responsible to know they are not controlled. They are not a controller of violence in Liberia. They have no monopolies on violence in Liberia. These things, when you start, once they get out, they're difficult to put back. And I want everybody to understand, you will not have the international community to have that goodwill. They have to come rush to your aid again. It's not going to happen. So we saw a group of people attacking Yeke Koluba and the entourage of Honorable Alexander Comey in Grand Jide. We didn't hear anybody going to jail. In fact, there's rumors that the superintendent was called to Monrovia, only for us to learn later that according to rumors that the superintendent got caught. So this becoming like a pattern. And it needs to stop.
Who should stop?
It needs to stop. Yes, the police will be coming to the United States here very soon.
No, let me ask you for.
And there are many Liberians now that will be prepared to go and demonstrate against him.
You're not
going to bring Sabu Yuna here in America to kind of attack anybody.
Yeah, okay, let me ask you, who needs to stop it?
What's the question? The
question you say it needs to stop. Who should stop it?
The government official, specifically Dr. Weah. He's not just the president of the Republic. He's the father of the nation. He has to understand that. Whether I agree with him or not, whether I like him or not.
Is he doing enough to stop it?
Well,
answer me. Do you not a baby? You don't have to.
Mr. So the liberal speak when you see me dragging my feet like this. I'm trying to find a position that is liberally suitable.
You can do
You're
anything.
not going to push me into a corner and then I just come in like a
You
conservative
don't have to find a position.
answering
I
questions.
know your position already. You're unstable, so you can throw it.
Okay,
anywhere.
whatever.
Look,
So, Mr.
Mr. To, on a serious business here, it's not good. I don't care about Musa Dane, Patrick Suru, Moses Carter, all of that. I've talked to Carter several times and blah, 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 blah. The Republic of Liberia is under the direct supervision of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, who happens to be the president. Whether I voted for him, you voted for him, or any other person voted for him, that's not the point. He is the overseers of all of the supervisors and managers. Who appointed Musa Dane? Who appointed Patrick Suru? You think if you're not doing your work, you will be on this network? I warn you twice.
Mr. So, just remember this. I'm the board chair. You can't fire me. You cannot fire me.
You need to go find money for the network to work.
No, I'm not board chair right now. I'm not board chair.
So, no, on a serious note, and it is offhand, not even getting offhand. So, I don't understand. And the point I was making here, because I talked to other government and former government officials, that wait a minute, what is going on here? Not necessarily American embassy, it could be any foreign mission. When people are going there, when there's any form of protest, there is no any guarantee that the protest is going to be peaceful in everywhere, even here in the USA. What do? They send police there to draw a fine line, a demarcation, because obviously, I mean, nature, people will be for, people will be against, which is okay. But the reason to do that is to protect lives and property. They didn't even do that. So what were they thinking on? And I'm quite sure GOL, before these 26 event, they get a heads up of this invitation. But a lot of people blowing it off here. This is an overdue something. There was a virtual conference that were here during the crisis of the Ebola, and the U.S. government, Nigeria president, going to be coming as well. Certain countries going to be coming away. And those countries specifically, the purpose of that, because people, they do not look for information. They go here and they get a part through their ear full, and as soon as they hear it, they carry it and amplify it to 360 degrees. Part of that is the U.S. government call to this country to enhance democratic principles, to value people's civil liberties. And that, of course, comes to this protests and stuff that we're talking about here. And that was a good thing. They could use that time to capture the attention and be able to explain, maybe articulate to this other side of the government to say, well, this is what the people are saying, but we are not. This is an insidious homicide and the real side of them. But guess what? They had a good news, the idea that invitations, it was virtual in the past, but now they're going to be a face-to-face. Maybe his entourage will use that time to meet some influential Congress or other national leaders so they can take a second thought of the government or the people of Liberia to see what they can do. But guess what? They allow the people to go down there. They went there and do all the crazy things. They never divided anybody. Group came to be an independent CDC, blah, blah, blah. Anybody get it right. I am not saying because of that name, it means either Jefferson Koji or the president, this and that is aware. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me, he as a commander-in-chief should take charge. If there's any potential disobedience or civil disobedience in the country, he has to arrest the situation. That did not happen. Then police director coming out. If I was, you know me, 10 day he out of job to come out.
And that's why, and this is why we have people like Dr. Weir, who it's not like he's not going to fire anybody or will not fire anybody, but you don't just get up because somebody have done anything. Where is that person civil liberty as well? Mr. So, I'm a liberal. So I'm not going to sit down here. I'm not going to sit down and let you say, hey, that me, I fired that person. That's why, not you. Hey, that me, I fired that person. You're not even going to do an investigation. You're not going to give that person an opportunity to explain themselves. You're not going to give that person an opportunity to surely, as a liberal, I would say, what happened? Let me hear from you. Other than that, I'm not just going to get him fire somebody. This is
So why you disagree
this
with him?
is a tendency of a dictator.
Will
And
you
I
have a
hope
police- will you have a, let me ask you here, you are getting on my nerves now. Will you use something to, God forbid, because you will not be president, you'll not even be president of Total, because Total is closer to my town, and will you, with this kind of administrative, all you need to do will have you to build to one of our representatives, what he said you will beat the road.
Yeah.
We have you to be the role. We have you to maintain, to look at our role. But honestly, I can't put you in charge to lead quarter in Total. The day I hear something to want to be paramount chief, I will force myself to be paramount chief of Total. In fact, not forcing myself, my father was a paramount chief, because what I'm hearing from you, you are unstable. It will be dangerous. But on a serious note, you're in trouble. You got to pay here to get that unstable.
Mr. So,
how good where you been eating, you know, that a good heel stretching your throat.
Mr. So, here is the thing. I'm not here to please people. My job is to be truthful. What I know. Will anybody out here tell me that Dr. We had never visited Liberia during the war? Will anybody here tell me when he went out on to Liberian tour to visit Liberia, was there fighting? Was the fighting not ceased when he's in Liberia? So what is it that I'm making up? Why people are saying that they're disappointed in me? I'm not here to hate somebody, or I'm not here to disagree with somebody because of hate. That's not what I do. That's not what I do.
Please take time with my audience here today, please. That way, the people expressing their views and
let them. They're entitled to it. What they are not entitled to is their own alternative facts. I'm not going to let them do that. They're entitled to whatever they want to say, whatever. That's their opinion. But they are not entitled to their own facts.
Yeah.
And what I'm giving you is public record.
Part of the First Amendment in the country for people to express their views, opinions.
Yes, yeah, you are. Now you're talking about First Amendment. Yeah, you are. A few minutes ago, you want to fire somebody.
Yes, because the man actions threatening another person's life, so he warrant firing. So I hope, I want the president to succeed, because when it comes to, I completely disagree with the opposition people who fail to kind of like, who has put themselves in the positions of not being able to see that. And that's what I say, and I'm going to come to that.
And Mr. So, I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't mean to interrupt you. Say you not bring up the opposition. Honorable Kumi, person who I consider a good leader, Honorable Kumi, his comment yesterday or day before about this incident, it's laughable. He did not come across as being trustworthy. He came across as being opposition and speaking as a politician. Somebody like him.
Is he not a politician?
Yes, but at this moment on that particular subject,
what is Joseph Boyka comment here? Joseph Boyka and the Unity Party, they want to take state power, seeing what unfolded.
Mr. So let's put Dr. Boyka aside for now. Let me address Kumi, and I'll play all of that. Kumi came out yesterday, the day before yesterday, to make a statement, and he came out squarely without any evidence whatsoever. He said this was Dr. We are doing. No evidence, mind you. I would not have put the blame on Dr. We are in such a way. Now, if you do that as a politician, as an opposition, you do that, you come out and make these kinds of landless statement. The international community look at this statement and say, oh, they're politics.
Okay. You don't? Why your Papa Uno statement?
He's a sensible person. When you look at Mr. So, I grew up in Total, in the countryside. Oh man, somebody who is older than the people in the room, you don't rush. You wait until you have. Hey, let Mr. So, the liberal is talking, please. You wait until you got all the facts. There's a saying, oh man, can I be the one to go see bamboo? You wait until you see all the facts. All the facts come to you. Then you make judgment, a judgment call. So Dr. Boyka will make a statement. I know he will. But
I'm wondering, is he a real self here tonight?
Excuse me?
Is he a real self or a different Samson to having conversation with you tonight?
Mr. So, This is a liberal. If you know anything about being a liberal,
Mr. Boyka, the man who serves, who tested state power, number 2 person in the country.
he was packed in a garage. Mr. Son, are we going to go through that again? Are we going to go through that again?
Okay, let me make my point. The number 2 person of the Republic of Liberia, 12 years, we don't know what his position was, and now with Helen Johnson Sirleaf, what he disagreed with, we yet to know, which of course we need to know. Such an incident occurred, and they left the town. Ooh, they're going to Banga. They're having convention, party convention. You want to leave. What happens if there was hold on?
Oh, Mr. So, are you trying to?
What
you can't
happens?
do this to us. You
Hold
cannot
on.
say the incident was happening and they left as though
I
they knew
said-
what was happening. No. I disagree with you. I believe Dr. Baka and his entourage were already in Banga when this incident occurred.
As a good leader, if you are already in Banga and you hear your capital is on flame, what will you do?
Mr. So, I just told you, as a good leader, you don't rush to any kind
No,
of.
that's what I'm asking. You heard.
You wait until you get all the facts on hand,
Oh,
and
when
then
the
you
whole
make a
city is-
statement.
when the whole city is burned down, then you wait for the fact.
No, but they said we're not that far yet. We're not there yet.
I've never seen.
And this is
I've
another
never
thing. This is another thing I want to point out to you. Let me point this out to you and your conservative viewer right now. Let me point this out to you guys. As a liberal, Dr. Baka is doing exactly what the opposition is supposed to do. You don't interfere as though you're running a government. You make statement. You condemn but you don't try to run the government in exile or whatever you want to call it. So Dr. Baka understood that, and he's playing the game real well. He's saying to the Liberian people, when my time comes, I want people to look at me. You're not going to interfere in the day-to-day activities of running the country of the Republic of Liberia, which, by the way, is not a banana republic. Let's put it that way.
Wow. Samson Toh, what a big disgrace I've ever. This is not a Samson Toh that I know. I'm not sure what took place this evening before coming here. Do you care to tell us?
Mr. So, this is what I'm going to tell you. I'm bloku. My hay in your mouth, you hay in my mouth. The only thing that I should be concerned with is for me to come and look at this camera. Can you put me? Let me show the. Can you do me alone? Put me on big screen, please, Mr. So. Can you put me on big screen?
I will.
Yeah, please, so that I can explain myself. Fine. This fay here ain't got seen fay. My hay fay you more, you hay fay my more. So why should I be afraid? The only thing that I should be afraid of is me saying something that is not true to me. Then my God will be somebody that I have to answer to, number one. Second, when I leave the show tonight, I must be able to go lay down and in peace. In peace. I shouldn't worry about what I've said, what happened, what have you.
All right.
Okay? So I'm just
now.
telling you, Mr. Soul.
The conversation is about to get.
I'm just telling you, Mr. Soul, that the liberal is not here to please anybody.
Okay.
I must say something truthfully, what I believe. And what I believe might not be your truth. That's okay. I agree with you. You can disagree
I will
with me.
interrupt you a little bit.
Don't try to force me to please you and say something that you like.
All right.
That's not what I do.
The conversation is about to get interesting. I will be right back. Okay, this is Liberia Public Radio. I'm Alfonso Zienso. This is Conversation with the liberal progressive Samson Brown Toh. Let me see here. I'm just getting a new memoir is about to be released by a former minister of government who happens to be my own mentor, but someone is joining the conversation right here, right now. This is the book. I'm going to have it, and I'm going to have the author here. Lpr-Tv hijack. The history of how the Loss of Liberty device Liberia. This is available now. I'm waiting for my copy. It's available now. You type in Kai Wle. It's Amazon right now. Only Amazon you can get that here. But let me bring in LPR senior contributor. He's joining us right here this evening. Mr. Sisegoya is a senior contributor of the Liberia Public Radio. He's joining us from somewhere down there. Can you greet our guy too, the liberal?
Yeah.
Hey, but that's the whole reason I came on, man. I heard the man I getting roasted tonight, so I had to come to stoke the
That's
fire.
you calling Minnesota politician.
Yeah, I believe he's the Minnesota politician that have joined the LPR family. We appreciate it. Welcome, Minnesota politician. We welcome you.
So
Thank you, man. But real quick though, apologies to our viewership. I've been gone the last 2 days. I had to come on tonight. I'm in Accra at the hotel right now, so this is how important the viewership is, and we have to come in live and direct from Accra, Ghana. So
Appreciate it.
And I want to say thank you. He just touched down in Accra. We were chatting. You see, Minnesota politician. Yeah. He here. Turner.
I'm just saying, you know what I have to say to him, because I think as somebody who is a Minnesota politician, I'm hoping because Minnesota is a liberal state, and I'm hoping that he has been having some conversation with the Minnesota senators, former senator and Paul, all of the big week over there in Minnesota. But if he's just a broken part politician, conservative, then I think he and
okay, let's welcome Sisegoya joining us from Accra, Ghana. That good evening. Good evening. So it's a little after 12, but thank you for your commitment.
It is midnight.
Yeah, you just touched down and you've been following the program here to come on here. There must be something that capture your imagination for which you want to express. Look, you listen to the liberal. This is what I deal with on a daily basis here, and he tried to put you in his column, reminding you that Minnesota is a liberal state, so he's thinking that you're going to go in his way. I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but when you make up, you've been following the conversation so far.
So which one you want us to talk about? The brutality?
I think that is much important. This liberal thing is
the Unity Party.
The incident, the July 26th incident, and the manner and context in which the government handles it. And one of the key hook here I want you to speak to, he said the president is not a violent type. But why somebody who does not have a violent DNA supposedly will see this sort of history repeating itself over and over? No one is being reprimanded. No one is being held accountable. It's been the same old song. Police chief coming out, and anybody who's doing a can't tell, or you suppose by this time an arrest should be in place. Somebody should be behind bars. That young man could have died.
So
not going to happen.
You know what hurts my soul is this whole thing about what about this that has become our new enjoy, part of our Liberian what's the thing item that we love so much. Every time you say something about a government, whether this government or previous governments, the supporters, the blind loyalists, always talk about what about the last time? What about? It's as if to say that if I decide today to become an activist and speak about what is wrong today, people somewhat believe that I should not speak about what is wrong today simply because yesterday something happened, I didn't talk about it. Maybe I didn't hear about it, or maybe I heard about it and just didn't talk about it. Therefore, I have outsourced my right to speak about ills that happened today. That is wrong. And I've been following, all of the opposition, quote unquote, and the government loyalists when they talk about they're trying to frame what happened to this guy. Number one, it was barbaric. It was horrific. And it is inhumane. There is no explanation for why young people, will treat another person in the manner in which they did. And real quick, let me sidetrack a little bit. I saw somebody release a video, and they had it side by side with what happened to this kid, Sisulu. and what happened to our late president Doe. And people were they were it were it, you it, the resemblance is uncanny. I don't understand how we get to that point, Mr. So for the life of God in me, we go to church. We Liberians talk about God and Jesus like he was from Liberia. Yet we do these kind of things to our own brethren simply because they disagree with the politics of the day that we stand and support. That is wrong. We ought to be able to have a public space where we can disagree and still be brothers and sisters. What drove people? I really want to understand this Kigali mindset that got into people to get to their point that this guy you've got him, you got a prisoner. He's there begging you. You strip him naked. He's begging you, and you brutalizing him that way. In the name of what? Simply because they said that they were going to protest against having the July 26th celebration. And people talk about, well, I see some people talk about, oh, it happened to other people on Zolizo went on LU campus. Nobody talk about it. Well, yeah, so because nobody talked about it when Zolizo went on LU campus, so when this happened, we should all be quiet. And who should we blame when Zolizo went on LU campus and that happened and nobody was arrested? It's the same people we are still asking to be held accountable today. If Zolizo was constitutional rights were violated on LU campus, then the police authority, who is still the same police authority today, should be held accountable. And that's what everybody is asking for, to be held accountable. And so I really don't understand. This pains me. I've been reading people comments on Facebook and everywhere else. It pains me, Mr. So and Mr. To, when Liberians, when we've lost our soul. It seems that we can try to justify the unjustifiable simply because we believe in a party, or not even in a party. We believe in a person, and because anything we say or any action that happens to kind of show that person, that leader, to be human and making mistakes, we go to the defensive. That is so horrible. It's so wrong. It is despicable what happened to that young man. And for us to be sitting here today with the plethora of videos showing the culprits in the act, they recorded themselves, and the police has not yet arrested anybody. That is sad. Nobody should come here and tell me, George, we have a peaceful president when his IG at this point has sat there and let me use the playbook of the ruling party. It happened to Zolizo and the IG didn't arrest anybody. And it's happening to this young man and still there's nobody being arrested.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's
Mr. So let me just add on that what the young man has just stated, which is quite correct. And the idea, in fact, let me just say this: the same video that I've been talking about all night, on that from the very beginning, they had a press conference, and the press conference they had at the end, pretty much at the end of the press conference, they were asking other members of Sabu unit group to converge on the police campers. On the police barracks, since they were invited, it was supposed to be yesterday, that they should come and support them in their numbers. Perhaps that must have gotten to them and said, maybe the police was here, maybe. But besides that, my whole thing here tonight is this: the president at this point to still consider himself just president of the Republic of Liberia, then all of us are missing a point. He's the father of the nation, and this thing is big. It might be between two student union, whatever the party or whatever they call themselves. But human life, Liberia's life was threatened, brutalized, and it's on social media. And I won't be surprised, even if Dr. Weah gets here, And that thing, some press man come and ask him that question. Then what will be his answer? Those are the kinds of stuff. So now if you come out, the American embassy and the ambassador, they're right there in Liberia, they're watching. They have not heard anything. They just told you that after 5 years in office, you're now being invited to the United States to meet with the president of the United States, a Democratic president. And then you, people in your knee, wearing your T-shirt with your picture on it, and the back of that T-shirt to say, like we are 2023. And these same people with a T-shirt brutalizing a young man who now is famous. I hope he survived, and we pray that he survived. But he's very famous right now, a famous student leader now. Okay? All because of people think they would. This is not how you do it. And this is why if people have put Dr. Weir in the bubble, he doesn't see many of these things. And even if he did, maybe people speaking, maybe he would say people, and I'm saying maybe because I don't know. The people speaking on my behalf. And this is not going to be good. Another thing here, many of you might have seen this. When Samuel Toy made that comment, benevolent dictator, we have never heard from Dr. Weir distancing himself from that statement. I've not seen it. I've not seen anything. It dies down because many Liberians were against that statement. And Samuel Toy was not able to walk it back, but he never repeated that since. So, Mr. So, I think the issue for me here tonight, it is not about opposition. My concern, my pain, and it's not disappointment, my pain right now is the fact that Jefferson Kochi has been connected and no evidence whatsoever, but according to press release, according to social media, I've always been connected with these little violence here and there. And overall, Justina Taylor, that statement she made that day, is still in the minds of many, many Liberians. And these young people, lastly, these young people that were involved, especially that light-skinned kid, very intelligent, seemed to me. But they have messed their own life up. Because if they make a mistake and say they're coming here in the United States, you will see Liberians bring up their video and take it to the immigration office. And these people are going to be invited. That thing gonna haunt them so many times. Even when Dr. Weir leaves office, these people will not be able to get in any other political office in Liberia. It's not going to happen. People, we're not stupid anymore. And the young Liberians will make sure this thing happens. They can attest to that. Look at what happened to Zobi Zo when he made that statement about where it's gone, whatever his statement he made. Because of that, he was not able to get that position. And then they think that they're going to brutalize somebody and have a press conference praising Dr. Weir. And after that, they're going to, as smart as they are, they're going to get position in Liberia after CDC leaves office. CDC don't even trust them now. Where they come from? They come from COP, Costa COP. You think CDC trusts them really? So we're in it. We're in it, Mr. So.
It's almost like a gang initiation, Mr. So. Like what Mr. Toy just said, they came from COP and they're not trusted. So in order for me to show my trust, I teach high school and we see these gang initiations a lot. When kids want to get brought into the gang, sometimes they tell them to go rob somebody, shoot somebody, whatever. This has all of the hallmark of a gang initiation. They want to show to the Rudy establishment so bad that they are die hard so much that they're willing to go out and commit barbaric acts against other Liberians. And that brings me to a question. What is the moral turpitude and the guidelines for the CDC that people wanting to prove themselves so much loyal have to go to this length? That says a lot. That in order for me to serve you, a political party, show you that I believe in you, is I have to be this barbaric. I don't think that's what the CDC stands for. Again, I'm not a seditious, but I would refuse to accept that. But in all reality, this is the message they're sending. And then just one last thing, because I know Mr. Soli wanted to come in. Mr. Tool talked about one thing about Jefferson Koji. I think the CDC government is doing very irreparable harm to Jefferson Koji after the leave office. You talk about the Justin Taylor case. Whether or not that was truthful is hurting Koji's reputation as a young man. Now comes this situation, and I don't have any proof whatsoever that Koji is involved, and I don't think Koji as a young man will be involved in stuff like this. But the reporting on the internet uh, is laying this squarely at his feet. Yet again, this government is doing nothing to empower Jefferson Koji or other people to come out and say, look, man, this is not what we stand for. And we are arresting people. I think this government is doing irreparable damage to Jefferson Koji if they allow things like this to continue to happen and allow people to continue to blame Koji, even if Koji is not a part of it. And the government cannot come out, and the president, the father of the republic, cannot come out and even have a 2 minute speech about this to say this is not the kind of party I stand for. This reminds me of President Trump when he sat there for 187 minutes watching the video of his thugs going to the Capitol. And this is what it is. The president is sitting back. He can't tell me he hasn't seen this. He is not on a rock, right? I don't care how much this bubble is. The president has seen this. And if the president, and I want to believe George Manuel Weah is not somebody that I don't have evidence to show that he is a violent person. I don't. If George Manuel Weah is truly the peaceful president people talk about, he is, and I know him to be a man of peace. He needs to come out as the father of the republic and speak against this and ensure that the full weight of the law is brought down to bear on people to serve as a deterrent, if for nothing else, to defend the character of Jefferson Koji and other young people that he has employed and he has empowered so that people don't continue to blame them for good or for bad, because Koji is not going to come out and say anything if the president is not saying nothing. And so that is going to linger, just like the Justin Taylor issue linger. And it's going to be an albatross on the neck of Jefferson Koji. And so for me, that's how I see this. I am not in the business of giving advice to the CDC, but this will be one free advice. If they truly love their young people, this is one place the CDC government ought to take a stand and try to send a message that electionary is over. We for over 5 years now, electionary ended. This is the administrative stage. And as a president, you are not president of the CDC. You are president of the Republic of Liberia.
Yeah, we try to do the best we can here in terms of provide honest information, what we know. We don't just break news, 5-minute breaking news. There's news that don't even make no sense, that it's not even a news. And I think, Mr. Goya, you put it into context with respect to what he is doing. And he, as a young person, he needs to take steps for himself. And I will be bold here. At the time, it was no Facebook Live. We started it almost 13 or whatever years ago. It used to be like a conference. And I was interviewing this gentleman yet. And I'm not even going to hire him because he's still around, both of them around. Now the Director General of the Liberian New Agency, Kwame Opa. He participated in one of my programs, and there was another guy, he used to tie, he used to live in Minnesota, now into Canada.
Yeah.
And he made a statement. He made a statement, accusation, whatever it is. And it was transcribed. It was put into the news, and they were quoted that it was done on Liberia Public Radio. After 6, 7, or whatever years, guess what? On this whole whatever thing, and people start going different places, he went to Canada, and that came after him. And I was surprised. One day he called me. He said, so can you find that article on your website? I said, what? He said, remember one time we had an interview and XYZ was said by Kwame Wig. Now I'm working after my stuff, and they want to know what I am because he was accused of being a rebel And what somebody said he was a rebel, what did he say in return? They wanted that audio. Or if not the audio, they wanted a statement, his own opposition statement to counter that. So people they don't know. They just sit and talk and say all sort of stuff. But let's I mean, it is what it is, but we'll do it. So let's have this quick commercial here. These people here, this group called themselves Citizens of Babli. Citizens of Babli District, the leadership going to be appearing on Lpr-Public Radio. This is a project that they are embarked on. Elijah Pay is the chairperson. In fact, there's a convention here, planning convention slated here for right here in my own Ocean State. This is the project that they have embarked on. They're going to be appearing right here on the Diaspora Informative News outlet, Lpr-Public Radio. We're going to be opening the phone call, and we're going to have a conversation about this project here. And this is the book here. I want you to, for those of you listening, it's available on Amazon. Legendary veteran journalist for over 40 years, known working on his PhDs in public policy as well. Former Minister Kai Gerowle is currently managing editor of the African Star newspaper. Liberty Hijack, the histories of how the loss of liberty divides Liberia. I'm quite sure you want to order mine today. It's very cheap. It's on Amazon, and I know Goya, you're going to get your liberal. You need to get it because I don't know why Minister Ray is a fan of liberal. Why will you be a fan of this guy here? But just the caption of that, I want to know how. And as soon as I get that, go through it. We're going to be having that here. This is a know about your country, know where you come from. That's where this book, I assume, you're going to tell us. Was it the liberty? Was it good or bad? We're going to dive into that. But okay, people are crazy boss in the line here. Let me open the phone line here. We can be the service to our prayer. Then we'll come to my folks. Okay, let me bring this number of 404-484 number 0456. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Mr. So. How are you?
Good. What's your name and where you calling from?
I'm Ujuku Cummings, calling from Clifton Heights, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. So Mr. Cummings is in the house. Good evening, Mr. Cummings. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I just listened to Mr. Tool and your other guest in studio.
Right.
Forgetting his name.
Mr. Goya, I'll just see.
Yeah, I just want to make a point about the incident that occurred in Monrovia on July 26th.
Go ahead quickly.
Yeah, I think, first of all, we all have to condemn it. It is condemnable. And number two, I see no reason why the government will create a group to counteract those students' protests. That's a shame. They are just a handful. If we're going to cause any chaos, don't you think the police can handle them? The police could have handled those guys if they are causing a chaos or misbehave. But then you go like organize a group. This is a shame, a big shame to the government. Yeah.
All right.
And on one of the videos, when they were trying to take this kid, putting on the motorbike to leave the scene, there was a police officer laughing. I'm not going to say smiling, laughing, while that kid was being brutalized. I was like, does he know what he's doing? And for me, I'm a very big fan of George Weah. I love his lifestyle. His life story. Whenever I think about it, I just want to do more. I think his inaction is hurting all of us. Now let me just take some of your time, Mr. So. Let's bring it to America. Why the Justice Department is trying to indict Trump. It's for his actions and his inaction. So to conclude, the government of Liberia needs to do better. Patrice Sudu needs to do better. He coming up asking people to come forward and say something. The people right in your nose. I can call him right now and let's say if I need those people I need, oh, Mr. Sudu, let's go. I mean, Ben Toba was heading the group. Find him. This other guy, find him. That's it. So all those stuff they're doing, that's just a bluff. Thank you, Mr. Su.
Thank you so much, Mr. Coleman, for participating. Okay, let's go to this other number here from the Liberal State here. That's all means 508 number 1665. Good evening, caller.
Yes, sir. Mr. Su, how are you, my brother?
Good evening. Welcome. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. This is David calling you from Worcester, Massachusetts.
All right.
Thank you so much for the show. Mr. Su, tonight, I am very, very disappointed in Mr. Tu.
Oh, boy.
You know, just what you said, I don't think it is Mr. Tu that I know speaking tonight. I don't think so. You know, sometimes, let God spade a spade. And one thing I like about you, Mr. Su, since I've been following your show, you love to tell people the truth, no matter what. This is time that we look at our president face to face and tell him the truth. You know, only a security setting will have something to call pattern. Just the question that I want to ask Mr. Su.
No, Toad.
Mr. Tu.
I don't get any.
They keep saying this George Weah, President George Weah, is not associated with violence, he's a good man. How can you tell me that this man is not a violent man? That violence taking place in his eyeball or in front of him or in front of his door, he cannot make a statement. Let's backtrack a little bit. When have we ever heard George Weah speaking, President George Weah speaking? The issue of District 15 will happen to TDRUA. All right? The June 7 protest. You have a president that calls speech completely for people. The only time George Weah speaks when he goes via a pulpit or when he goes to CDC headquarters is in Buka. What kind of country is this? Look at this country that Mr. Tu living in right now in the United States. All right? Something happened and people vandalized the Capitol. And now they are on a serious investigation from top to bottom. You have who, in fact, Mr. Su, where is the police?
30 seconds, so we are running out of time.
That giving credence to these guys called CDC Country of Patriots. If Liberia was a developed country or good country, that police officer that was standing there laughing is supposed to be disrobed. Then you're talking about calling him to what kind of investigation? And up to now, after 72 hours, nobody's arrested, and we're sitting down here, we say, President, we are a good man. Let's talk different things. And nothing will happen. To conclude, Mr. Su, nothing will happen. And because of that, it's going to continue every day, every night. So much, my brother.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's go here. We have a few little talking points here. Mackie, go ahead quickly. Make your point.
Hey, good evening to everybody. Mr. Tu, how you doing? I hope you're fine. And my brother there, Accra. Yeah, nice hearing your voice again from all the way there. Well, let me just go straight to the point. I just got information that today is Christopher Waters' Sisulu's birthday today. So I want to say happy birthday, brother. We pray for you as you're fighting for your life. We are in prayer with you, and the whole nation is supporting you. So happy birthday. We pray for long life for you. And congratulations to the book. I will try to get my copy to read more about.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's fascinating from the caption that we're going to have in here. But yeah, I want to encourage everybody. Only on Amazon you can get it. So Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I don't
I will
have
get
it.
it. I will get it because I like the title. The title coincides with the conversation. Liberty hijack. You know, I want to make this clear. I want to tell everybody out there listening to the sound of my voice. Liberia is a republic. Liberia is a country of laws and rights. Our constitution gives us the right to express our grievances to our government officials. The constitution does not tell us when to protest or how, when to protest, that is, you should protest on this day or on Sunday or whatever day. When you're angry as a citizen, they say you should do it peacefully. Peacefully. And what the University of Liberia students too, they did it peacefully, and they didn't create a condition where they should be brutalized like what we're seeing on Facebook for our brother. And the Liberia National Police, I'm disappointed in Patrick Sulu. Mr. Sulu, if you can recall, there was one video that on Facebook where Mr. Sulu, I look at Patrick, what they call him, Patrick Sulu was at the intersection of Randall, I think Randall or Broad Street. He was there preaching. He had a microphone in him preaching.
Yeah, I think I got that video. I'll have to search for it. I still have it.
Yeah, he was there preaching. Can you imagine? This young man was on the street preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. And the gospel of Jesus Christ from Christ itself say that we should cater to the poor, we should love our neighbor, we should speak for those who are being injured. You know? And he had a microphone preaching, talking about the end time. People should repent. Today, he's sitting quietly. He's telling people they should invite people to come and give this. And when you see the video, clearly showing people who are to be held accountable for what happened to the young man.
Yeah, people die.
And
those people can be found right in Morovia. They can't go anywhere.
Yeah, right in Morovia there. He's the one who normally takes the microphone preaching. So, and most of the people, the reason I brought the Christian part into this is that most of the people in authority, they are all Christians. They are Christian, like our president. He goes to church and hold a microphone and preach to a congregation, telling them about the love of Jesus Christ. If this was Timothy Weir, or if this was any of his relative children who to allow the day, are you telling me, George, we are going to be quiet? Come on, man. Have some level of, I don't call it human feeling, George Weir. I expect by this particular time, George Weir should have even taken on the airway immediately after that particular situation and call for immediate investigation. But look at the kind of time. And he coming to the United States here for a program called Democracy and stuff like that. What kind of faith George are going to have? I hope I have to get money to be to DC.
Okay, found money.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Let me go to my guys. Well, folks, what a great conversation here. I want to encourage everybody to get a copy of that book. But here is the thing here, and I want to say it will be eruption out here. I don't know. I don't think we have opposition in the country, and the opposition, the students proxy the affairs of the opposition. They hide beyond students. And the students, they encourage them, they make them to do things because they want to be a psychedelic opposition. Gaddafi said there is no successful bloodshed without a revolution. I am not saying people should go share that, but oppositions should stand as an opposition. They should stand for a cause. As an opposition, you got to go to jail. If you don't want to go to jail, don't fight to be president. Don't fight to hold any elected office. I'm telling you, because you must have a basic values for which you should stand for. And sometimes those values will be defied and people will go against you. But where are they? Where are they? They're all over the place here. They're having next time. They encourage these young people to do things with the hope that they're going to do, they're going to be there for them. It reminds me of the late Reverend himself. That was April 3rd, 1968, at the Mason Temple. Those are the people who call revolutionary, and those are the people who call advocates. For those of you who have not listened to that speech of Dr. Martin Luther King at the Mason Temple, 1968, just before he went to the other place and got assassinated. He forecast what was going to happen. And he was saying that because he wanted a bright future of the country, civil liberties and the freedoms of the people will be expressed. He said, I don't know what I want to get there, But what I do know, there will be a change. It's something he was not doing it for himself. I was telling you the courtier of Colin Powell here. But our advocate, our opposition, when they get Alfonso so they get Sisi fasting, then they can't beat your chest. They tell you, without me, they can't do it. Nonsense, Nigeria men say. No opposition. All of them, they're the same. No different than they and George we are. All of them. Joseph Boyka, the man who can't manage a political party and allowing young babies, toddlers, to stay wearing diaper around here, saying things, demeaning his other oppositions.
Where are we going with this?
Give me chance. You were talking here, I never talk. I'm telling you, your opposition, I'm going to put all of you in the basket of deplorable here tonight. We don't have no opposition. It makes no difference. If we try here, I don't like to experiment. Liberia is a sovereign nation, so I'm not willing to experiment Liberia here this evening. Other than that, I would say, let's give it to be Ellis Kumi, Joseph Boyka, or whatever. One who not even able and already the vice president position, that ceremonial. What kind of ceremonial? If the vice president position was ceremonial position, Mike Pence today, you will not sit here in peace. I will not sit here in peace. But he knew what he stands for. He believes in the constitution of this country, and he was doing the right thing, and that's why he allowed that vote to be counted. He won't tell me so one side he will go with Helen Johnson said he, the other side he not good. That the people can't trust to give them no opposition in that country, including you here, who the Liberty Party opposition in Liberia. Why are behaving?
Liberty Party USA, please.
USA, like okay, USA. Why you guys are behaving the way you're behaving to that country? Should we put Liberia on crest list or make it how you call it? Say put it on I'm getting too pissed. It is you guys, trusteeship. I think Liberia needs trusteeship. That's why it needs. Because all of the people here get opposition, this and that, they are joke. You have Dara Dillon on the other side and attend to radio host, and people try to defend it. They do not want us to ask him all of the tough questions. He wants to control the narrative. That's the calculations. That's how the politicians maneuver. And they take advantage of that because we have people say we're not stupid here, but they are stupid here because they allow these people to do it and they are unwilling to tell them. And then they think Gloria just going to come and they think Liberia going to be milk and honey. It's not going to work. Why you think Ghana or Cote d'Ivoire? See what is happening in Guinea right now. The military that got there said they came to free the people dance. Without all what we be doing. We dance, country Ben Borsoya, we dance 1980. You came my pa, you came my ma, I will vote for you. They dance. Whether you know both, you not know both. We dance, you're not come with Chinese leg, Korean leg, or Bangladesh leg. All of that. At the end of the day, when we trust them with state power, they do the same old damn thing. And they want us to be quiet. Then when you come, you want to be selective. Be salad dressing here. They want good and they want not good. Look, you want to be dog, be dog. You want to be cat, be cat. You can't be dog cat.
Are you done?
I don't see no opposition.
Are you done?
Tell them they need to go.
Are you done?
Let them go and listen to I have been to the mountaintop of that.
Mr. So. This is a Liberia Public Radio intellectual platform where we are not here to come in and have a free opportunity to spill out stuff that many of us don't agree with. Just spill out your conservative ideas, and you expect me as a liberal to be quiet. No, Mr. So, let me just tell you this.
Those people say, the mayor is
I'm not speaking about he's the Minnesota politician. I don't
know.
Oh no,
I enjoy Korea right now.
I don't know the Minnesota politician. I don't know his position very well. But let me say this, Mr. So, let me just tell you this. You coming out here and saying, oh, the politician. What I'm going to tell you is this. Whatever it is that you don't agree with, that's what we have. We cannot borrow a system to be applied in Liberia. Whatever we have over there in Liberia is what we have. Let's make good use of it and try to work with what we have. What you need to say is those who are responsible to work with a system that was set up by the Liberians are misusing
Is
the
the system
system.
correct?
I
Is
will
the
agree.
system good?
Mr. So the liberal is on the floor. I will agree with that. But for you to sit here and say that, look at Liberia, you can't tell me that the system we have in Liberia, Mr. So the liberal, please. This is what you do, and you're very good at that. You're very good at that with your conservative idea. When the liberal is trying to educate you about the liberal ideas, you come in and interrupt, and sometimes you try to throw me out, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So let me just tell you that the point here is this: Ghana, Nigeria, any of these countries in Africa, none of them is better than Liberia. I say so. The only problem we have is those who are charged to implement the policy of Liberian.
But those are the people.
Mr. So, let me make my point, please.
Oh, Lord.
These are the people that we need to deal with. But it's not the system. The system is what we have. That's fine. Let me deal with this other fight. Let me deal with this other fight. Like I said, you are entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. This is not Donald Trump USA alternative facts. This is Liberal Public Radio, where we deal with facts. Let me just tell you this, Mr. Soul. Liberia right now, we're going through a lot. And I understand a lot of challenges. I understand and I accept it. What I do not accept is to say that there will be no changes in the future. Let's give every one of us the opportunity.
Where is the future? We have to dialogue. You know me. We have to dialogue.
Yeah, okay. What's your question? What is your question?
That's not a fairy tale. Yes,
Mr. So, what's your question?
I like to hold people.
I want to educate you.
You must be here accountable. He said, who's supposed to change the system?
The Liberian people. Now, the point that I keep making with you guys is this. You cannot come here and say you want the Liberian people to be X, Y, and Z.
No, don't speak in tongue here. Don't speak in parable here.
Okay. You want the Liberian people, their life to be better off. We all accept that. But here's the thing you need to understand. The people on whom behalf you're speaking and preaching, these are the same people that give us this present government. Are you saying that they made a mistake? And if you say that, then you are not serious.
No.
If you say that these people are stupid, as you said earlier, then you're not serious.
No,
because these people messed us so. We have to continue. If we believe that whatever they did was not right for us, you have to point it out to them. You have to point out the tangible, so they can see kolo that look, you have your voting card. It's your power. How you use it is important. Your way of using the voting card is also affecting me here in America. Even though I can eat cassava anytime I want, but it's still affecting me. It's still affecting me because of how they vote. However, you Liberians, you are entitled to that. You use it the way you see fit. On the other hand, as your brother here in the United States, in the diaspora, I will ask you to kindly consider us, Liberian diaspora, to consider us, those of us that left our homes and are over here. We can't get Liberia out of our system. Vote wisely. Vote wisely. But instead, many of you preach. The preaching you do is to say you make a mistake. And so, because you make a mistake, so you must suffer for it. Then you're not taking this whole thing serious, Mr. So. What I'm going to say to you, I'm sorry your supporter, Central Right, is not with us tonight. We pray that he will be well very soon and he will be able to join us. I feel bad for you tonight because I've taken you to the clinic again. The liberal is taking you, the conservative, to clinic again. I don't know much about Minnesota politicians, so I can't speak much on it. I know he's going to be back here in the United States, and he and I are going to have series of talk show together, and I will understand as to whether he's just a Brooklyn Park politician who is
your olive branch
or not really liberal. We don't know that for sure. We'll find that out. But
So,
what I
so
want to say to him, I said, thank you, my brother, for picking up Liberian Public Radio to actually come out here and contribute. Because I've been listening to you. You're very, Mr. So the liberal is speaking. You're very intelligent and very smart young man. I think by you coming out here on this platform like this, expressing yourself and not preaching hate and just trying to be not neutral, so to speak, but be factual. And I've been watching you and I follow you a lot. And I really appreciate you picking up Liberian Public Radio. You could have gone on any other platform. You'll still be able to utilize any other platform that we're willing to have you. But to be on Liberian Public Radio, I really do appreciate it. And I think you make us strong as a platform anyhow. But here, Liberian Public Radio, I am the counterweight of these two gentlemen, the conservative, because I don't let them to get away with their conservative ideas, and then the liberal. And many of the time, people don't agree with me, but that's okay. I'm liberal. I'm evolving. When I say that, they say I'm not stable. No, you don't say stable. I'm evolving. I try to be truthful. If I say something today that is perhaps people say, "Oh yeah, we like that." Yeah, what you say is that. And if the truth comes out to say what I said yesterday was not the fact, I will eat the crow and say what I told you yesterday was not fact. And this comes from the bottom of my heart. And as long as I do that and go to sleep peacefully, I'm happy. I'm not here to please anybody. And this is what
so let me come in real quick.
Yeah, let me just say this here to Mr. So lastly, please. Then you come in. Mr. So, and many of my brothers and sisters that are watching us, your hey fame more, my hey fame your more. The liberal progressive. Thank you very much.
So it's 1 a.m. Let me come in real quick and then I'll leave the both of you. It's been nice. But Mr. So, I appreciate the end of your statement there. I told Mr. So in the back one time that I feel welcome here anyway. It's a good place to be, to have conversations that need to be had for our people. Because if our people don't have a counter narrative, an unbiased counter narrative for them to make informed decisions, then they continue to make kind of decisions that they make, and then we sit back and Monday morning quarterback and hold them accountable for everything that they've done. When they fight, you can only do what you know. And so I appreciate that we'll be here. Even on my trip, I am still going to be on the show. I will try my best to be on the show until I return to the U.S. I'm not going to be on hiatus. I'm still going to be on the show. Now, having said that, though, back to the issues that both of you were discussing, I hear Mr. So making giving a blanket verdict, a guilty verdict blanket to the opposition. And then I hear you, Mr. Toll, being the apologist and trying to explain away all of the problems that the opposition has had. And I think this is the problem we have in Liberia. Because Mr. So, I hear people always say, "Oh, the opposition," as if the opposition is a monolith. There is not one political party that's an opposition. If we have a plethora of political parties that are not in government, ergo they are in opposition to the government because they ran against the government. And the reason we have this many political parties is because they all don't agree on the same ideology or mantra. And so to put everybody in one bucket and judge them, that would mean that we expect Liberia to be like the U.S., where you have either a Democrat or Republican as a major party. You could be a Green Party or the Marijuana Party, these other, third party stuff. But if you are taken seriously, then you have the opposition and then you have the ruling establishment. But in Liberia, it's not that way. If it were that way, we wouldn't have 13 people running for president. We wouldn't have a consortium of politicians come together only to end up in court and divorce and have this bitter, ugly divorce fight in the streets. And so I don't like when people blanketly put every political party together in the opposition bucket, or like some of our brothers now who have learned a new terminology, hit position bucket, and then just throw everything at that bucket. But equally so, we have to understand, Mr. Tool, that we cannot keep recycling, putting old wines in new bottles, and telling people that this is a new thing. Isn't because then what this look like is the same old nasty Coca-Cola that we used to get from that same old dirty water in Haber Firestone, and now we just call it something different and say, oh, now it's Coke Zero. No, it's still not Coke Zero.
Oh
You just
boy.
changed the bottle. It's still the same nasty thing you got in there, right? So this is, I think, what Mr. Tour is trying to do. It's a marketing strategy, but what our people's life, we cannot reduce our people's life to a marketing strategy, to branding, because what that comes to is, oh, now look at this. It's no longer there because that company got sued and went out of business. Now it is called this, but it is still the same thing, right? We can't do that. We can't be doing this branding and thing when it comes to the lives of our people. Elections have consequences. Our people ought to be told, because we don't have civics in Liberian schools as mandatory anymore. And so us, the talking heads, ought to carry the load of telling our people that when you cast a vote, you are giving people power of attorney over your life for a certain length of time. You are telling those people that I trust you to make decisions for me and my children for 6 years if they're representatives of our president, for 9 years if they're senators. Imagine telling somebody 9 years to decide on whether your kids will have hospitals or drugs, whether your kids will have schools and functioning roads, whether your kids will have security, and whether they will have food. You are telling that person for 9 years, you are my power of attorney. And so we need to let our people know that those are not decisions that they should make lightly. But we cannot sit here and assume that somebody in my village, in Lofa County, in Zulu, where when it rains, the mud on the road, the way it's supposed to take you in a developed country, 1 hour to travel to, it takes you 2 days to get to. You cannot tell me that the old lady in that place understands civics, understands what it means to not mortgage 9 years for a half bag of rice. If we are not talking about it, we're not telling them the weight that is on their shoulders when they walk into those polling places to pull the lever for whichever candidate they want to pull there for. And so the other thing I want to talk about, I want to push back a little bit on Mr. Sewell, because he talked about the vice presidency not being ceremonial, and he talked about Mike Pence. The vice presidency is very ceremonial. Mike Pence had no authority. If Mike Pence had an authority, he was going to exercise it. Mike Pence knew that the Constitution held him to check, and he said that he could not go against the Constitution because it was ceremonial. The entire thing that Trump was trying to push him to. Mike Pence knew that he had no authority. If Mike Pence last week was in D.C., could not even still vehemently disagree with the man who said they should hang him. You think if Mike Pence had an authority, you won't go with Donald Trump? So they're going to go Donald Trump. But he knew the Constitution constricted him, so he didn't have an authority. It's a ceremonial position. But having said that, though, it is a ceremonial position, but you, as the president of the Senate, you have to be able to negotiate with senators to pass bills. And so then that comes with where we hold you accountable. How many bills did you push other senators to vote for that you felt was in the interest of the country? How many bills did you withhold from the floor, or did you maneuver to withhold from the floor because you knew it was not in the interest of the government? We got to talk about that. And you cannot come and claim all of the successes of the alien government as a unity party, but then don't want to take all of the drawbacks of the alien government. And that's why
Because he was in the garage. He was in the garage, my brother. He was in the garage. He was parked in the garage.
I don't know if that's mining king, but maybe they have changed the oil already. But the point I wanted to make here is that if you're going to bring a Joseph Boakai to the stage, and Joseph Boakai is from the fucking like I am, my uncle, no disrespect, but he has to be able to tell us what differentiates Joseph Boakai's unity party from Ellen Johnson's unity party. To date, they have not told us that. Tell me the policy differences. Tell me the philosophical differences. Then I will hold you and say, okay, I don't have to hold you accountable for the wrongs of any regime, but you can't tell me anything. And you want me to still trust you that you are different? No, no. Like my children in my school can say, when things are tough, I say, yo, man, what's going on? Say, yo, Mr. Goya, uh, 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 how to call it, different type of same shit, right? That's what it is, right? So, but that's exactly what this is coming down to. And so we have to be, and when I say we, I'm talking about us here and everybody on trusted platforms have to be the carrier of those messages. And then there's one last thing, and then I'm done, Mr. So. When we talk about the protest in Liberia, and you talk about the quiet, the definite silence of opposition leaders, that is why the last time we were on the show, we talked about asking these politicians when they show up to tell us who's going to be in their cabinet, what their cabinet is going to look like. Because George Weah and the CDC, will always complain that they suffer torture and torment at the hands of the police during Ellington. Yet they are the same people doing the exact same thing, simply because they did not have a government in waiting. They did not teach their people that we will be leaders one day. They felt they were going to be opposition forever, and so they didn't get ready. And so now the violator has become the violators. Right? And if you listen to them, the CDC, they always talk about what happened in their compound when the likes of Yaka Koluba back then as a police officer went down there and people were killed. And when they talk about protesting, and every time the government came out against them, those records are still there. So how can a political party that had its main ingredient as protest now become a ruling party that hates protest? The irony is palpable. If our people's life was not at risk, it would be funny, but it's not, because you can't come from being the party that perfected the act and craft of an everyday protest to now become the ruling class that detests the same tools. You brought the tools. If we saw you win championship with information, every coach is going to use that formation to win championship. The other coaches are getting the same information as CDC use. So why are they mad at it now?
Yeah, because that works. Okay. Gentlemen, what a great conversation. Terrible, horrible night for the liberal progressive in his. You return at the wrong, your timing was wrong, that I can tell you. And Amos Joyce is spinning because, he told me if I'm going to be on, I think the liberal are going to get out. So thank God that he's not here. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. And to our men and viewers, listeners, we have to do it. And that's the beauty of this network. We can disagree. And believe me, when you're feeling like that, finish. We all can chat and have a phone. And this is why there is no, you just have a conductor, but a conductor does not have dominion over another analyst, contributor, opinions or views. They have we all have an equal right here. We don't silence people. No, wait. Let me tell my parents. Why you say no? We don't do that. We do it on that level. But this night, I can say this Friday night, I'm going to put it in my diary. The Labour was massively defeated. The school here, they're still doing the count. So, what was Dara Dillon's victory in Maserati the other day? The Liberal.
No, you're not talking to me.
Oh, you don't look like me?
No.
You're nasty with all automatic falsification. So
reject his own name. So, well, folks, but it was a great conversation.
Let me just say that here quickly. Happy anniversary, 50 anniversary to Dr. Baka and the Madam.
Happy anniversary,
the incoming First Lady.
I don't know about that, but happy anniversary to the uncle.
And I would say happy belated anniversary. By the way, Goya, his anniversary, the whole country had a holiday. So that was great, man. You the man.
Yeah, I was smart. I got married.
I want people, and I'm going to be having this Sunday. I'm going to be hosting Dr. George Bullitt. All of these people must be held accountable. I'm going to be hosting Dr. George Bullitt, a representative for Grangeda County, former Minister of State, former Minister of Education, and lawmaker. What's the
and a former professor here in the United States too. I would love,
Yes.
I will be listening because he also, along with the legislative caucus of Grand Jury, said we're going to boycott the July 26th, just like the soup was doing, but nobody went and brutalized them. But that's a whole different conversation.
And to all of our contributor, in fact, follower, please go on Amazon. This book is available. Liberty Hijack: The Histories of How the Loss of Liberty Divides Us. This is basically going to, from what I see, I'm capturing from this here. The caption here is it's going to give you an in-depth of where we came from to be where we are. Legendary Kai Jerawale is a veteran journalist working on his PhD now in public policy, current managing editor of the African Star newspaper as well here. So this book is, it has all of the ingredients that you need, the tools here. You know, he's tracking down history, and that would be quite fascinating for us to go in depth to see what it tells us. But all you need to do, go on Amazon, very cheap, read, so that you'll be able to make that argument. So, well, folks, that does it this evening. I'm Alfonso Z and so of the Lpr Public Radio. My dear brother, will be in touch. Safe trip out there, and you know, let's keep the connection. Let's keep the ball rolling. I know the Liberal. It was a big surprise for the Liberal here, because I told you, I said, "Oh, my man just touched down." So he was so relaxed. The Minnesota politician, the people with the rare cup. Why he didn't call the American? Why he didn't call the rare cup name?
Mr. So, Mr. So, let trouble. Mr. So, don't worry about it. I agree, man.
Stay safe out there. We would like to have you back here.
Thank you so much.
Stay safe.
Okay, the Liberal, thank you so much for the event, and to all our men and valuable. Please send in your suggestions, your culture. No, seriously, I mean the behavior. People, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah,
that speech. When I listen to this guy's speech, I say, yeah, there are some people that stand for a cause. I don't care whether the going gets tough and the tough gets going, and at the end, he said, well, you know why? Because I have been to the mountain top. You're not talking about physical mountain, go climb over. I don't know. That's not what he's saying. That's not what he was talking about. The combinations of a good society, good governance, fighting for people, liberty. Who is a politician that we can refer to say that they have been to the mountaintop? They don't get there and they start licking their oil. They don't even reach there, then they already say they're beating their chest without me. Nobody.
So it's very sad, but I think we got to bring this show to an end. I know we're going to pick it up again, but it's very sad. But I want to thank you very much for the show tonight. It was spirited and honest debate, and I appreciate the way. And I also want to thank the audience, those who disagree with me vehemently. We say thank you.
Don't let nothing bother you. Forget about it. Overcome me.
I'm blocked.
Don't come get into a fight with my folks here this evening, please.
Okay. All right. I want to say thank you, and Mr. So have a beautiful weekend, and the audience, you guys have a beautiful. Right. Let's continue to pray for Mr. George, so he will be back here very shortly. Thank you very much. And
George, we are keeping in prayer and all of our folks. Thank you so much for your time. The Liberal Progressive, thank you so much. Well, I'm Alfonso Zain Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Sometimes I will say things that you will potentially not like because you just need to know what is true, and I follow the trend of our history and how things are happening. I think that's much better. I want to thank you so much. We're going to be back here by God's will in same time, same station. Sunday, I want to be here in no patent interview with Dr. George Boley. Recently, there was a press conference calling on Grand Juliet not to participate in the 175th independence anniversary, and that is ongoing. There's a divided house in Grand Juliet, the caucus I'm talking to. What's going on? Everywhere. Uncertainty. We got to tell these politicians what is right. We have to say it to them. And for those of you, it's good to take position. That is okay. Don't get me wrong. But you can do it good by just being respectful to tell them, hey, I support you. I die for you. I'm willing to sacrifice my life. I don't know who does that. But this one here, this is how you need to do it. This is my favorite quote. I'm going to leave it with you here this evening here again, because there's a substance and there's a message in it. It just shut down these so-called advocates. People take them, and for some whatever reason, they take them to be their Messiah, their savior. Why you should allow people to define you? You need to take this. You need to take things in your hand. Be able to have control of your own decision making. Don't allow people to push you. And that's what Colin Powell said. There's no end to good that you can do if you do not care who gets the credit. So it's not like all the things I've been doing for you ever since, nobody tell me thank you. Why would you tell you thank you? You're fighting for civil liberties, and that's what you're supposed to do. Real politicians advocate does not baby cry for credit because he did it and nobody tells him thank you, so he's tired. Nelson Mandela did not get tired, and this is why South Africa today is a free land. People go in there. The apartheid system was abolished. If he was tired, and guess what? After he got out of that maximum confinement, he embraced those people. There was no vengeance. There was no, I want to pay day. And you punched me yesterday, I want to punch you. He stabilized the situation. And he didn't say, because I was there for 29 years, I have to be the president. I assume to God in heaven will put it into bed now, I will win it. Like, bro, man, put them in jail 29 years, made them president. They will change the constitution overnight because they want to get credit. Thank you so much. For those of you who just didn't agree with it, so sometimes that's how it looks. Sometimes it can be dicey on this network here. But it is time that we do everything for our country to survive. And if we love our leaders, if they are doing wrong, we need to tell them. We don't want to insult them, but we'll tell them, we'll point out those policies and things they need to do. And like I said, the actions of the folks at the embassy there who have caused our country into a bigger trouble, if they had just entered the American compound and caused some sort of destruction, Liberia will going to suffer it. And not just only the leader, all of us, directly, indirectly, because when your brother calling you, your sister calling you, your siblings calling you, then that enjoy we are business. It becomes a national cause. So next time when people are going to protest, government should see reason. If there will be a counter protest, there must be that demarcation to go there in case of any eventuality. They are there to protect lives and property, because obviously there will be some people will be there to disagree. They never did it. They local those people, and that young man was tortured. And up to this time, police director telling us somebody must come forward. We hold the president responsible. Musa Ding, all of the joint security apparatus. Up to this time, no arrest has been made. So when will we, that would have put the temple of justice behind me here this evening, because of the compromises in the law of the Republic of Liberia. May God bless Liberia and save the work of our people. We can get mad with them. We'll continue to talk to them, and hopefully there will be some sort of divine intervention. Hopefully, if they not even initiate God. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. Dishonesty, poverty on the rise. The leaders, them making promises with no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days, money in the pockets. Oh, as a holidays only for the bosses.